Hey there guys, and welcome back to Get Going Fast. Make sure we get into this excellent hobby of AI in a quick and efficient manner in which you actually might learn something. Yo, imagine that. So the RTX NVIDIA 50 cards are out, and evidently they're great, but they're blowing everything up. They're making everything not work. And so we've got all sorts of applications where we're like, trying to figure it out because we need a new torch and we need new Onyx runtimes and we need different sages and we need different flash attentions. We need all of this stuff. Okay. And so a lot of the apps you had didn't work. You got bamboozled, didn't you? You got a good card, didn't realize the work that was going to come with it. But the good news is we at our labs here Get Going Fast, I've been working on how to fix these things for you. And today we have gone ahead and we are fixing up your visomaster. There we go, our visomaster here. So we have this over here on the Get Going Fast page and it's working great, but all of a sudden she stops working. Good news for you is we have sorted this out, and I have a set of instructions that or updated the installer so that it's actually going to start working. Now I'm going to walk you through the basic idea of what you need to do here so you can do this on your own. I'm going to set you on the right path. Okay, we might not go through each step of this, but I'm going to show you the key things. But again, as always, you can just pop on over to Get Going Fast and grab the thingamajobber there and just get to getting on with the getting on. So we're going to do that, but before we do, I want to thank you for liking the channel, subscribing. We're growing. It's exciting. We need to grow big. We need to get big and show them all, man. You'll show them. You know those guys that laughed at you? Well, they ain't going to be laughing no more when you're standing tall with Get Going Fast. You got like grills in your teeth, you know, that kind of stuff. Big GGF statues like this. And I'll be like, you was like, I was with them from the beginning. And, you know, chick on each arm is going to be the retribution that they get for making fun of you. Because I'm not making fun of you. I think this AI stuff's great, and we're doing it together here. So, and I really want to thank you for being a part of that. Okay, you guys are the community. So, yo. All right, well, let's get on to updating our visomaster so that we can get on with the yeoman's work of face swapping. Hey-yo. All right, now, so let's just pop on over to our browser, and we're going to go over to this repository. Now, I went ahead and cloned this, okay? This, or I forked it, okay? So this is actually, the original one is just your visomaster. So you can get there by going visomaster, GitHub, and you'll see this one down here. Don't get tricked into going to this top one. You want this bottom one here. Which is view, and then that takes you over to here. Now, this is where I went ahead and forked off of. So I'm not sure if you type CogniBuild if you'll find mine or not. Probably not. But you can find my GitHub by any rate by should be doing CogniBuild GitHub and clicking it there. Okay, from here you can oh my gosh, someone else has it. Here we go. Gary James Nave. Hey, handsome sounding name. All right, and then from in here you can get into the visomaster. Okay, now I didn't change anything in here except for I added this requirements, CUDA 12.8. Now they have the 11.8 and the 12.4. Okay, so we're going to just kind of skip that, and I've added this 12.8. Now, before we go on, I want to let you know, this is not the perfect requirements file. This requirements file is only, really, it makes some minor changes, but we're going to have to go and update them ourselves later any rate. Okay, so we're going to update this requirements, but then we're going to do some stuff after it to update what we did. All right, so let's go back to our browser and click on that. Okay, and we're going to get in here, and pretty much what you're going to see here, even if you take your old one, all I really did was I took a few of these see these version types. I removed it from scikit image. I removed it from Onyx runtime. The big thing we're going to deal with today is this Onyx runtime GPU. That's going to be your big boy. Okay, and you're going to get down to your torch and torch vision, and you're going to see that those actually have some stuff you need to erase. So like if we go over to our 11.8 one here, you're going to see it says Torch Vision with all this. Okay, we're just going to get rid of all that. Okay, you want to get rid of all that. This is going to change up here. Notice, see, I got rid of the Scikit image. The Onyx got rid of the version. So popping back over to our 12.8 version, you'll see that a bunch of these just don't have version. Oh, I guess I left the Onyx. But we're going to uninstall this stuff anyways and then put it back on. But you'll notice the Torch isn't there. Torch Vision, Torch Audio. In some ways, honestly, we could have probably just got rid of this, but I just wanted to do it and then undo it and get it. So this is just kind of the most surefire way. You could definitely optimize this file by getting rid of some of this stuff and then just doing it manually. But we're going to install it, then we're going to uninstall some things and reinstall them. Okay? Not that difficult. So all we need to do, okay, you got a couple things going on here. So if you haven't installed this at all yet, okay, you're going to have to go watch my other video on how to install it, okay? And you'll just go through this manual installation guide. It's not difficult, but you're going to clone it. You're going to do this. Now, I want to show you something. They've got this install CUDA and CUDA deep neural network. We're cutting it out, yo. We are cutting the fat. We're like, you know, Big Al's used autos. We're cutting the fat. We're giving you the prices right at the bargain line here. And so we're getting rid of this. We don't need it, okay? Once we install the correct torch is going to carry the things within it, okay? Right? It carries its own success inside of it. Just like you should be carrying your own success inside of you because you have it in you. So torch is going to be actually carrying these. We're going to get rid of these, okay? We can do this, okay? And then we'll run our requirements just like normal, okay? But, we're going to actually make a few changes to the requirements. So, first of all, you'll notice it says 12.4. We're going to go ahead and pip install the requirements CUDA 12.8, okay? You can get that from up top here on my GitHub. So you can also just you can just copy this. Listen, if you don't need to clone this whole thing. You can just open it up. You can just copy the whole thing, pop on over to your file explorer. Let's see, where's that at, yo? And just create a new file. You can just right click, go new text document, and just call it requirements.txt. Okay? And then go in there and paste it in. All right? Now, once you do that, you'll want to move it into your visomaster folder, okay? So that when you have it in there, it's right there. Okay, so we're not going to need these for our 50 series. We're going to use this one, though. Okay, so getting back to what we're doing here, let's assume that we have this all installed. We're going to go ahead and open up our command line. Now, since this uses CUDA, okay, and if you remember with CUDA, you don't actually have to be in the correct folder to open up your virtual environment. When we use a Python virtual environment, it actually creates a folder. Conda uses a system-wide system. So we're going to go in, we can just open up any command prompt as long as it's an administrative command prompt. So that is going to be the key. You need to make sure you have an administrative command prompt. Let me see if you don't know how to do that. Let me see here. Then you could do it like this. All right. You just open up go to your browser or your desktop, hit that little key there. Let me make sure you can see this. It looks like it's too big. Hold on just a second. Okay. So click on your Windows thing. Just type CMD. It'll bring up your command prompt. Then it'll say run as administrator. Okay. So just go ahead and that's the bad boy that you're going to pop up. Now, again, like I said, it doesn't really matter where you open stuff because we're using a Conda environment. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to close this out. Let's open up our command terminal. Let's find our command. There we go. Boy, all these windows are really huge, so my apologies for that. All right, so now I'm going to get out of my System32 folder. Not that I have to access my conda environment, but I don't want to hang out in there. So I'm going to hit CLS to clear the screen. Now, if I've already created this, I can activate the environment. I can also search to see if I have by typing conda env, okay, which means environment list. So give me a list of the environments. Okay, and this will take just a second, and then notice it pops a whole bunch in there. I've got my, oops, wrong one, got my visomaster. So I know it's there. So I can type conda activate visomaster. Okay. Yo, now we're in it. You can see that we're in it. So we're assuming that you've already installed this before. Okay. Now, what's happening is when people are trying to run this with their 50 series, they're getting errors saying that it's the wrong architecture or blah, 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 blah. Okay. So that's how you'll know that you got it going, because it won't work. So what we're going to do is pop back to our browser. We're going to do a couple different things. Right. We're going to reinstall our torch. Okay, we want to make sure we get the we're going to make sure we get the right torch. So let's go over to here, and we're going to type torch install. So we'll click on this get started, and then we want to make sure we've got CUDA 12.8 picked up. Now I'm going to grab all of this. I'm going to leave that pip 3 there because we're not using pip 3, we're using pip. Okay. And I don't think we're going to need audio. I don't know. We'll just do it all. It doesn't matter. We'll back to our command terminal. Now, if I type pip list, you're going to see, you can see everything you've already installed. So you'll see I've got torch audio, torch vision. So I'm going to be reinstalling into this, but you would have, it would probably say torch CUDA 12.6 or something like that. And we got here by typing pip list. Now, I'm going to go ahead and type pip and then hit Control V. Then what I want to do is type force-reinstall. And what that does is it says, go ahead and even if it's already downloaded, download it again, install it again. Because what happens is that we might have another version, and it looks, the system thinks it's the same thing. Maybe we've got the CUDA 12.6, and it goes, oh, well, they're the same file. Okay, because it's not differentiating the difference. So by force reinstalling, we're saying, go here, get it, do not use the cache. And so it's going to bring that down, and it's going to start to reinstall. So we'll wait for this to get done. Okay, and it's still not going to work. There's a few more things we got to do. So as soon as this is done, we'll move to the next step. All right, we're back. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to uninstall some of the stuff we had. So we're going to type pip uninstall. Oh, we can get rid of that -y. Numpy and scikit image. Okay, so these are things that already exist on there, though. They installed them in the requirements.txt. That's why I was saying we could actually clean out the requirements.txt, but whatever. Doesn't matter. We're just going to go ahead and uninstall those. And we put that -, so it's actually numpy and then space. So it's uninstalling two things. And I put the -y so it wouldn't say, are you sure you want to do that? It just does it. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to reinstall them. Okay, now the beautiful thing about working with the new stuff is that it'll grab it. We don't have to put a version because the newest stuff is when you don't use the version. So we type pip install numpy space and scikit image. So we're going to put that in there. Notice we're putting 2 dashes, a force, and a dash reinstall. So again, we're going to say we're going to force it to bring it in and put it in there. Okay. So yeah. So what I was saying was that it's kind of good when the good side of the new stuff is when you don't use a version, it just assumes you want the latest version. And that messes up. That's why sometimes with these apps, we actually have to put a version because it's an older app and it has to have the old one. But if you just put this in here, it won't work. Okay, so that is now done, okay? So now the next thing we're going to do, and this is real important, okay, is we're going to have to do another uninstall, and we're going to type pip uninstall onnx and onnx runtime-gpu. Okay, and so it's going to go and it's going to uninstall those. Now, these actually might be fine. You could play around with it because notice I didn't put the -y, by the way, and it asked me if I wanted to proceed. But at any rate, because this, we're not going to end up having to actually put a version on here again. So we'll just do the same thing we did before. Pip, now that we've uninstalled it, we're just going to make sure it's the right one. Pip install Onyx. We'll do Onyx and then Onyx runtime -GPU. And then we're going to do the same thing as before. We're going to go force reinstall. So that's going to force it to download the latest and greatest. And then we'll only have one more thing to do after this, and then we should be done. Now, while this is working, I'm going to just point out the biggest thing is with this whole 50 series, you cannot run your stuff off of CUDA 12.6 anymore. So a lot of the stuff that you ran off your 40s or your 30s, it's not going to work because it's relying on CUDA 12.6. And here's the thing, if you're running a 40 or you're running a 30 or whatever, you're not going to work with this Torch CUDA 12.8. Now, I also want to point out, this isn't actual CUDA 12.8. It's Torch compiled with that on the system. So even though you have on your system, you might have the CUDA drivers for 12.8, you are not able to use Torch with 12.8. Okay, so there's a difference. You guys heard me talk about big CUDA before. So on our systems, regardless if we have 30s or 40s or 50s, we can install CUDA, big CUDA drivers, 12.8, 12.9. But when we get down into actually using it, we have to use, with our 40s and lower, we have to use 12.6. If we use, because it's backwards compatible, so we're able to handle all of the stuff. But when we get to little CUDA, the roads that come in, we have to use the 12.6 road. Okay, we can't use the helicopter pad. Okay, we got to use the Lamborghini road. Now, when you get with your 50s, you can only use the helicopter pad, so you have to use the 12.8. Okay, and by helicopter pads and the limousine thing, I'm just saying those are different routes to get to the factory. Okay, the factory is your driver, so you might have 12.9 or 12.8 drivers, but when you're installing Torch with CUDA, you need to get the Torch with 12.6 if you do not have the 50s. Okay, so going back over here, we're going to be done. The last thing we're going to put in here, just because this can cause an error, and this was in the other version as well, but we'll just do it. It's called pip install OpenCV Python, and same thing. We're just going to do a force reinstall, and this just doesn't have to do with your 50s. It just has to do with making sure that everything works properly. Okay, so now we're done. Okay, so if you had already reinstalled this, now what you can do, notice we're in the D drive because we can get into our virtual environment from anywhere. Now, however, we got to get over to where our actual app is. Look at that guy hiding behind there. There he is. Hey. Now we can click on this Run Visomaster. And this will pop up like a disk. Damn, why are they so big today? There we go. Now it'll load. So we'll just give it a second. You know, this thing always takes a little bit of time to go as well. So now, just FYI, while this is loading, we're over here at Get Going Fast again. We are working on all of the things to get this going again. So we've got a lot of apps over here, which is great. You join as a Farmhand member, you can get all the installers, you get some support, all that good stuff. But as you see, we are actually working to update all the softwares. So keep your eye on this. As always, you can go to visomaster.getgoingfast.pro, go straight to get this, but we're going to have the other one. We're going to be fixing rope. We're going to be fixing rope, getting all of that good stuff going. So as well, let me know if certain things aren't working for you. Okay, in the meanwhile, let's pop back over to here. And you'll see the app is now running. So welcome back to Visomaster. Okay, there you have it. So it's a little bit of a difficulty to get it going, but if you just go back over your old installation, go through these steps that I showed you, go over to my GitHub and get that 12.4 requirements file. Listen, if you can't get it, use the other one. Maybe just using these things that I showed you over top of that will work as well. But the main thing is you need to make sure you updated your torch. You need to reinstall the Onyx runtime and the Onyx and the Onyx runtime GPU. Those are the big things. And you need to, what was the other one? It was NumPy and scikit image. So those are the keys. And that's going to get you going and Visomastering fast. Okay, well, you guys hang in there. We will catch up with you on the other side, yo. And be good to each other. Come hit us up on the Discord. You're welcome to hang out and chat with us. You can find us on Reddit under Get Going Fast. We're on Instagram as CogniBuild. You can find us on X as CogniBuild. All right, we are around. Of course, we got our YouTube page here as well. So you guys be good as always, and we will see you around, yo.